You said we're gonna do something to your brain.
Hey, welcome to Dead Air 7. This time we're talking about the SAG-AFTRA Strike. Shein, the fashion retailer, being sued under the RICO laws. Ooh. And Tate and Tucker, their beautiful powwow that we watched all of. But first, you wanted to start with Hack My Home, Christina.
What's Hack My Home?
Hack My Home is a new TV show on Netflix about interior designers helping people manage their space. Exactly. Go on then.
Yeah.
You loved it. You got loads of ideas.
You
were writing notes. Really?
Yeah.
Use vinegar to clean pennies.
Yeah.
That'll help my social brand doing that. Yeah, go on.
I can't remember why we
watched it.
I think it showed up as like in the top 10 on Netflix or something. And I was like, what's this garbage? Let's check it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think what was interesting for both of us straight away was it's called Hack My Home and it's from 2023.
Yeah.
And that seems like dated lingo.
Yeah, and also there's no hacking at all. Like every single one. Okay, so
tell them what it is.
So,
what their plans are.
Yeah, people who need help having their homes hacked, which basically means, like, from what I can tell, every episode is pretty much people having too much shit and not knowing how to manage their space. Because they go into, like, the houses, and it's, like, a big, nice house, you know.
They're always middle-class houses.
Yeah, people who could easily install some cabinets on their own.
Yeah.
But instead, some people come with a camera and put some cabinets in your house for you.
Yeah, I assumed it was going to be, like, tiny homes.
That's what I thought. That's kind of what drew my attention. Yeah.
Which, you know, you would... Okay, yeah, you need to use this space creatively.
Yeah.
Vertical, like in WALL-E. That's what I would have.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, like, some cool, like, I don't know, tricks for, like, hiding more storage and, you know, like, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, the whole show is them kind of creatively making storage. Like, oh, you need this room both as a living room and an office, but there's not enough room to use it at the same time. So what we'll do is we'll build you a desk that folds, that you can fold away. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I've definitely come to the conclusion in my life that I like everything out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like everything out. Like, remember the...
Drawers of the things that I never want to see ever again. Like a screwdriver. Like, I'm not going to need that for ages.
Yeah, remember the one where...
Even then, there are spanners all over this house. Hammers. There's an axe over there.
You don't really like that.
Just in case I need to throw something at a snake.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the one where they were like, we're going to use... like 3D modeling to create a ladder that can fold sideways into the wall. Like, why? Why?
3D modeling, yeah.
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 Is that a hack?
Someone was like, I have a degree from MIT or something.
Yeah, she keeps saying it. She wants you to know that she's an engineer from MIT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did the brackets course.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely...
Metal roller course.
Not anything that requires engineering going on. Some of the ideas are really dumb, too. Like, we don't have enough room in our living room. Okay, what we're going to do is make, like, a coffee table that rises up out of the floor. Or we're going to make a table
so
that
you can't keep anything on the coffee table.
Yes, yeah. Or we're going to, like, have, like, an elevator that comes up out of the coffee table so you can have drinks on it, I guess. Like... But why?
An elevator that comes out.
Remember? Yeah, there was one where...
So it's like... And then there's another one that comes out of there, and it's like a big wooden...
Yeah, they were like, here's a remote.
Birthday cake.
Like, they had a remote control to push this button, and these little doors open up in the coffee table, and then another table rises up. Like, what exactly are we... What are we doing here? You know?
all of their construction looks flimsy, and, like... Yeah, that looks nice, and it'll work fine for, like, a couple of years, and then... Like, if these people couldn't be bothered to move their shelves, they're not going to maintain that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's all, like, and, like, half the stuff is, like, bought from Amazon, like, the pieces they want to make. And there's definitely at least 2 episodes where they say, oh, the thing we ordered didn't arrive. Let's jimmy up something else. And yeah, it was, obviously the show was cheap. It was done, you know, I don't know if it was rushed, but it was done on the cheap. The hosts, terrible.
Yeah.
So fake and...
Yeah, really obnoxious. The way they, like, force laugh at each other's jokes, like, really, like, dumb jokes, like, constantly. Yeah, it's so fake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
Changing Rooms it isn't. Remember Changing Rooms? You ever see that? Maybe it's just it must have been just a British show where two people who lived next door would, with the help of some experts, redesign each other's living rooms. And it was always like, we've got a budget of £150 and some wacky fucking ideas.
Yeah, right.
They got sued once, I think.
Okay.
For ruining my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were less obnoxious.
Yeah. Oops. Something that was like weird with watching this one is like normally when you have these kinds of shows where it's like I still can't remember the name of it for life. The one where it's like, we're gonna build you a new house. You know what I mean? It's always like
Extreme Makeover.
Like Extreme Makeover. Yeah. Like aren't those shows? It's usually like, oh, we had like a family tragedy, or you know, like, yeah, we got, you know, my dad got cancer, and you know, was disabled, and you know, we can't do it ourselves. Our house is falling apart.
Yeah, like
you know.
Ground Force, another British show where they would do all this, but it would be in the garden, and it would be like, so and so would love going into the garden, but now he has cerebral palsy, so we're going to make his garden wheelchair accessible and put a
like a
ramp in and all, you know, and pick flowers that he can reach and things like that. And
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and obviously it was, you know, they didn't do it for that. They did it for TV.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that without the cameras, but still.
But there was like some kind of a.
So you're saying these people don't deserve it?
Well.
Get off your ass.
That's
what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the show is like solving problems that don't exist. It's like, there's one where they're like, we don't have enough room in our kitchen, and they've got like giant metal like shelving, like in aisles down the kitchen.
Bigger than the kitchen at the restaurant you used to work at.
Yeah, they're like, there's
seats.
not enough room. Yeah. Oh yeah, like not like you can do like 250 on some nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to me, a pretty big kitchen. You have too much shit.
You have too much shit, and
they've got
not
like
enough sense.
They're like, we don't have a pantry, so there's no room to put anything, and it's like, how many people live here? Because you'll see on the shelf, there's like 20 boxes of cereal. Like, just stop buying so much shit, and you'll have room.
Yeah.
You know, and get some cabinets. And I mean, that's pretty much what they did. They were like, here's some new kitchen cabinets. How's that a hack?
What about the guy who owns that dome house?
Yeah.
And he's owned it since like 1985, and he has 4 daughters. And they all sleep in the dome. Yeah,
like the loft, like dome part
and
of the
he's going on about like, oh, I wish they all had their own rooms. Like, what you do is you go to Lowe's and you buy some fucking wood and you buy some fucking plasterboard.
Yeah, and it's like a huge space.
You build non-retaining walls. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
And do you know what? If you don't do that, you call someone up and say, how much to do that? And it'll be cheap.
Yeah,
because you're not doing anything to the structure,
and they treat it so seriously. Like the people who come on the show, they seem perfectly nice, you know, most of them. And it's not really anything against them or nothing. Just
get off your ass.
Yeah, well, like the one lady is talking about, like, she's like crying, saying like, all I ever wanted was to be able for each of them to have their own bedroom. That's my like dream in life, and like crying, like I think you're pretty lucky, dude. You know, if that's like, you know, is that worth a cry? You know, lots of kids have to share rooms.
All I ever wanted was 2 cars and one of them to be a Porsche.
Yeah, like it's not like, you know, like, you know, we need like wheelchair accessibility, you know, like what you're saying, or, you know what I mean? There's like no reason, like, to do any of it.
There are, you know, millions of homeless people.
Yeah.
Build one of them a house.
Yeah. Instead of like, like we have a whole team to come in and work out that you know, you need some cabinets to put your stuff in. And it's it's just like
cheap,
the most
condescending garbage from Netflix.
Yeah, with some very banal problems being solved. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what was the one? It's like the dude's like, I work from home and, you know, this is my office area, but this is also
a psychologist, right?
Yeah, he was a therapist. He said, But this is also the game room for the kids, so I really need to like have it to where they can, you know, be in like, you treat it as a game room, but then I can also have my office area, and it's like, do kids need a game room? Don't they have bedrooms? There's no like problem there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to have your office to work in. Well, tell them to leave. Like, these are not issues, you know? Tell the kids to fuck off outside for a bit.
Throw their toys out the window and lock the door.
Yeah, I mean, presumably they go to school and stuff. So, you've got time.
Who knows what kids do?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I didn't like it. It might be worth a hate watch for a bit, but even then it's not actually that funny.
It's mostly baffling.
The hosts are especially... I mean, gross, I'd say. Like, without doing anything gross. They never do anything gross, they don't say anything gross, but they just come across unbelievably phony.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't need to be like that, you know, just...
Yeah.
Like, you could really... There must be kind of like an alternative genre. I'd watch shows like this if it was just some dude who was like, right, well, I'll give it a lick of paint if that's what you want. Yeah, I'll put some tiles in.
Yeah.
What sort of tiles do you want?
I know, yeah.
Just, thank you for doing that. No problem.
Yeah, just not hacks. Like,
next time on me doing shit around someone else's house.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying when we were watching, I was like, I'm gonna write these guys an email and be like, my gutters need cleaned. Can you come hack my gutters for me?
I've only ever dreamed of having clean gutters. But I can't be bothered.
My one dream in life is to not have to clean my own gutters. Can you please do it for me?
I don't get it, just don't have gutters. What's wrong? The rain comes off the roof, why do you need gutters?
Doesn't it mess your... I don't know, I guess so you don't have water pouring over the sides all the time like we do. Or you have to like go through a waterfall if it's raining to get out to the back porch.
Just have a longer roof.
Yeah. Yeah, just not really an issue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Hack my home.
Yeah. Not hacks.
Yeah, not hacks.
There are hacks in it. Yeah.
Hacks.
So I don't know, anything else to say about that?
No.
Yep. Then we also watched Bar Rescue.
Ah, Bar Rescue,
which was actually pretty enjoyable.
What a find.
Yeah. It's like,
It's kind of
like Kitchen Nightmares, but for bars with this dude, this American dude.
John Taffer,
who actually seems to know his shit.
He started working in bars in like 1973 or something, after studying what, like... Didn't you say something on anthropology?
He studied political science with a minor in cultural anthropology, and was a drummer in a punk band. And
then went on to become like a bar aficionado.
Yeah.
It's we watched some of it ages ago, and I guess it was clips, and it didn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
It seemed like a rip-off.
Yeah.
But actually it's way better than Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, you actually learn stuff.
You learn stuff. Show, he's way more reasonable than Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He's also, I mean, he's doing this. He doesn't need to do it. He's a little bit of a narcissist. He's not such a narcissist that, like, it's all about him.
Yeah.
He gets different people to help him, different kind of, like, celebrity chefs, like Tiffers.
Yeah. I'm from Beaumont.
Beaumont.
Yeah.
Tiffany Derry from Beaumont and Top Chef. People like that to help him, and it's way less... Like, he's not a bully.
Yeah.
He's a leader, not a bully.
Yeah.
He doesn't need... To, I mean, there is kind of a bit of bullying with the owners.
Yeah.
Where it's about sort of making them, not unlike Ramsay, like, face the truth.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of... exaggeration for TV.
And but, and, I mean, he does do yelling and stuff, but it's stuff that is pretty infuriating. Like, some of the... It's really funny, like, so many of the episodes are like, we have a bar, it's failing, we opened it, basically we've opened a nightclub / strip club in a family neighborhood where the average age is 55. We don't know why we don't get any business, and nobody knows how to make a drink.
I think it's like... I would describe it as 40% people who are like generally incompetent or lazy or blind, but want to do better. That's kind of 40%. 40% people who like just cannot stop drinking and are cannot help themselves. They're in this environment and definitely comes across like this is their first shot at being like Mr. Popular and center of attention, and they just can't control themselves, and they're giving away free drinks and
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
a lot of that.
Yeah, a big common thing. Where it appears in many episodes that like the bar is failing, and you see like bartenders or the servers like giving away just shitloads of drinks to people, and then getting their tips and going home, and it's like they're doing it like right in front of people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There was one episode where didn't they say that the girl gave away like $4,000 worth of drinks in like a day?
And then the other 20%. How would you describe that? Like just really like really greasy people like trying to sort of plunder the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe less than 20%, but yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's way grosser than Kitchen Nightmares.
It's kind of more sad, really, in some of them.
Yeah.
There's variation, but...
Yeah, there's variation.
And there's a lot of, alcoholics.
There's one... Yeah, and there's one or two, definitely, where it is... Like, no, I think there's one where a guy had a successful bar, and then Katrina happened, and, he lost it all and and John helps him rebuild his bar and things like that. There are ones where it's not really the fault of anyone. Things have just happened.
Yeah.
But often it's just like people who've no idea what they're doing apparently.
Yeah, because one of the first things that he does in like many episodes is just
because
like
they're either stupid or drunk.
Yeah, line up the bartenders and be like, make this cocktail.
Shoot every fifth
like a
one.
basic cocktail, like make me a Manhattan, and then like nobody knows how to do it, like just basic bartendering. Yeah.
Basic hygiene.
Yeah.
Fruit flies.
Oh yeah. Mold. The one where there was like mold growing on the ice machine, and like every drink had like bits of mold in it.
Like the ice was green.
Yeah.
At the bottom. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of like just people who are not good business people. Like that's something that you see a lot. Like not every episode, but a lot of episodes. Yeah, it's like the owner is like an alcoholic, is behind the bar, like drinking all day long.
Yeah.
And just doesn't know how to like properly run a business. Like almost like they treat it like a hangout. God, the lady who was like so abusive. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she's just like calling them names like all night long
Sluts
and laughing about it.
Yeah.
And
he goes crazy.
He goes mental. He's like, you show them respect.
Yeah.
He gets really upset when people
Would you like it if someone was calling your daughter a slut?
That is somebody's daughter.
Yeah, he grew up with someone who was very hard of hearing, I feel.
Yes. Yes.
Because he's shouting when he's not angry.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job tonight!
That's how he just talks. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you!
Yes.
Yeah, he's very funny. And he's obviously worked in like every position in a bar. And unlike Ramsey, you can tell that he's had a lot of shit thrown at him. Like Ramsey became like a professional fine dining chef at like 20. Like he was in France and stuff, learning all the culinary arts. But this guy was like a normal, like getting called a dickhead everyday bartender.
Yeah, he was a bartender and then got promoted and was like
ended up as a nightclub manager.
Yeah,
and then
like a really popular club.
The Troubadour.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Seems to actually like really know what he's doing, and
he really sticks up with the staff usually.
Yeah, he gets really upset at anyone abusing staff, which is
common.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is a lot like Kitchen Nightmares, but
sorry, I was gonna say, just to interrupt you, the 20%. I was actually gonna say, it's not 20%, but like another 10% are like people who aren't any of those things, but are like super narcissists and failed artists.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they want to play their god awful music.
Yeah, the lady who was doing her like Yoko Ono screaming over a piano. 60-year-old woman.
Lady who's opened this... And she'd opened like a 2-story bar in like a really... Like in downtown wherever. Like really expensive. Like $20,000 a month rent.
Yeah.
And just doing this like god-awful jazz.
She's just like screaming.
And she gets upset with him because he's like 2% of the market, like jazz. You need a more accessible music. Like, it's about the art.
Yeah. He's like, yeah,
well, why
jazz,
do you open a bar
he's like,
then?
jazz is the least popular form of music in this neighborhood.
Like, if it was about the art, you'd be gigging at other people's venues, but
yeah,
you won't because you're awful.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, isn't there?
There's a lot of that, yeah.
You could turn back
I was just
time.
thinking of that. If I could turn back time. Just going room to room singing that song over and over.
That one song.
That was so funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. There's a lot of, like, you know, almost like people opening a bar, but really what they want to do is, like, be a famous musician.
Be loved. Be adored.
Mm-hmm,
have loads of friends.
Be a player. There are certain owners who, like, just treat it like their personal playground, like they, like, almost acting like they're not concerned at all if they make money. Like the yelling lady, didn't they say that she's losing like $5,000 per month with the bar open, and her husband's like paying all the bills, and she's just like drinking all night at the end of the bar.
Oh, the yelling lady, yeah, right, yeah.
Like people who almost like want to just treat it like their hangout rather than a business, you know.
Or the Nick looking fella.
Oh, yeah.
It was like his grandma's retirement fund going into that or something. Yeah.
Was that the guy that was like, we shot a porn?
Yes, that was.
In front of customers while the bar is open right here on this couch in the middle of the room.
So do you think there was
That's not legal.
So they shot a porn on a couch, which they got paid for. Mm-hmm. I don't know why anyone would do that. Like, some porn producer is like, we'll have to get a bar location, otherwise we won't be able to sell it.
Yeah.
If we just do it in the back room, people are like, that's the same back room as the last porno you made.
Yeah, like they're really concerned about.
I'm gonna stop watching this, put my knob away, and mow the lawn. Yeah. So he shot a porn where he's in the background. Yeah. The owner's in the background, apparently. We never saw the porn, but we heard a lot of it. Yeah,
or just some pretend sound effects, perhaps.
Just some lady in the production office going, whoo!
I mean, I suspect that might be the case. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And there were customers in the background. So how did that work? Like, did this start happening? And like, if I was in a bar and somebody started making a porn over on the other end, and I had like half a beer left, would I be like, well, I'm not going to down it. I'll just finish this and leave. Yeah. I mean, I'd definitely be interested. Like, is that really happening?
Yeah. I'd be pretty confused, I think, yeah. But, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, like...
I'd be pretty confused.
I'd be pretty baffled, yeah. But there's tons of that, and, yeah, where, it'll be, like, where, like, the bartenders are all, like, basically dressed like strippers and, like, dancing on poles and shit badly, and just, like, taking their clothes off and stuff, and John is watching one of the hidden cameras going, that's illegal, they don't have a nudity license. You know, there's a lot of that, like, that's not legal.
Yeah, he knows the laws, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not legal. Yeah, so that's definitely a theme as well of our bar's not working, and I don't want to lose the bartenders, but they're not making any money. So what they'll do is strip. Mm-hmm. And, like, it always baffles me, like, how they go along with that. Yeah. I mean, there's loads of bars in this where, like, the people behind the bar are wearing bikinis and stuff. Mm-hmm. I've never seen that in real life. Like, is that common? I just imagine a pub in England with someone wearing a bikini. Like, and not being, like, a, you know, like, a 300-pound, 6 foot tall shaved man with a tattoo of Sheffield Wednesday on the back of his head with Wednesday spelt wrong. Going, what that be? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
sorry.
Yeah, like in bikinis.
My pub experience like, is not cooking. Sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always, as well, like, the weird part with those cases on the show, too, is always, like, it's in a place where, like, that kind of, like, in a neighborhood where, like, that kind of place just would never do a lot of business. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like, you know, the average person here is...
a dentist.
45 and makes an household income of $60,000 a year and has 2.5 children. Like, they're not going to your nightclub. Yeah. You know, in your shit town or whatever. Like, just weird ideas.
Not going to the Velvet Lounge.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Velvet Lounge?
Uh-uh.
Not the, was it called the Velvet Lounge? Something Lounge on that corner.
What are you talking about?
In Indianapolis. It was always like really brightly lit and always empty.
Yeah. Oh,
Never mind.
yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anything else to say other than
I would
love John
You know,
Taffer?
the reason we watched it, I think, is because we got a free trial for Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you fancy getting a free trial, you got a spare email.
Yeah.
Give it a go if you fancy it. It's, you know, again, it's pretty funny, and you know he's almost always right. He makes good points, and I guess what keeps me kind of watching it without it sort of, you know, all washing over and becoming one is there is actually information in there. Mm-hmm. They talk about, you know, how mold affects people.
Yeah.
They talk about if you're going to mix a drink with citrus, you always want to shake it, never stir it.
Yeah,
and
like
this is the science behind it.
Yeah, like the chemical reaction.
I learned that.
Like,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you can actually learn some stuff.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, a lot. It's definitely
It's
more.
not highbrow or anything, but
No, of course not. But yeah, I mean, definitely not highbrow.
but it's not lowbrow either.
No.
Maybe the titty bar episode.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like actually learn stuff, and yeah, it's, you know, he does do yelling and stuff. You know, he's like Gordon Ramsay in that way, but Gordon Ramsay always comes across like he's like looking to pick a fight rather than actually, you know, like instead of, you know, like John Taffer will be like, you know, this is the wrong way to do it and this is why, you know.
Gordon Ramsay will go through this pantomime often of being like, right, get the chef to make me this, and then like confront the chef, knowing full well it's like, you know, it's someone making like $13 an hour who is at the complete behest of the idiot owner, but still go through and like scream at them and be like, how can you be fucking proud of yourself?
Like knowing full well that they have no control over the menu or anything,
And like, just stay still, alright? Just stay still. Freaking me out. It's like being sat next to a ferret. Yeah. No, thanks. It's like, he'll go through all of that and he'll berate people, and they're very rarely like professional chefs. They're in that role, but they're a cook who's been, you know, employed doing that. This is almost true on every episode of Kitchen Nightmares. You know, it's not someone making 50 grand a year. It's someone, you know, on a shit schedule getting treated like shit with all this responsibility. Yeah. John doesn't do that. John just goes straight into the owner and goes, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes, you know, he will have it out with a barman or a chef.
Sometimes, but for the most part, like, he's perfectly reasonable. You know, he'd, you know, like, you know, I think he realizes, like, it's not their fault, you know, if these you know, because he'll always go straight to the owner, like, your bartenders don't know how to make a basic drink. Did you train them? Yeah. Okay, no, you didn't, you know, like... It's very, you know, he takes it directly, you know, it's their fault, you know. He just goes right at it and doesn't necessarily piddle around the way Ramsay does, like pretending, you know, that he doesn't know things that he knows. You know? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. What do we have next?
Tate and Tucker. Yep, so... Tucker Carlson did an interview with Andrew Tate on Twitter.
Flew to Romania.
Yes, and interviewed Andrew Tate.
Right. Do you need to explain who either of those people are? Probably not. Probably
not. Just for Andrew
Tate is a well-known online misogynist.
Yeah. Who is currently being charged with sex trafficking.
And rape.
Yeah. And basically just went on and told a whole bunch of
lies,
you know, easily
disprovable
lies. Yeah, like talking about none of the you know, like saying that what he's in trouble for is getting girls to do TikTok and taking their TikTok money. No, it's a webcam business. Like, why did you not say at any point in the interview? Like, he kept saying TikTok. You know, they think that I'm getting girls to do TikTok against their will, and saying that. were the big ones, saying that all of the victims have said that they're not victims. Okay, well, why are you suing 2 of them then for defamation? They definitely are saying they're victims. Yeah, just a whole load of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he cheeseburgers. He definitely started off with a plan to try and conflate a lot of the charges. But he didn't help himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that, you know, his followers saw it and were like, see, or something, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone changed their minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good to know that both of those fellas are keeping their media machines going with this shit.
Yeah.
You know, Tucker Carlson, as always, comes across not at all like a people person, an uncomfortable interviewer. He comes across as someone who hasn't been in the business for 20 years.
His laugh, too.
He still can't affect a realistic laugh, which is fine. Just don't laugh. You don't need to laugh every time Andrew Tate says something
uproariously,
you know, vaguely sarcastic. He definitely didn't say anything funny. Andrew Tate comes across like he has an IQ of like 90. Like he doesn't come across very stupid, just a bit stupid.
Yeah.
The whole thing about like, I don't need to do TikTok stuff, because he never says what he was actually doing, which was sex camming stuff. You know, his argument was it was legal.
Yeah.
I don't need to do TikToking stuff for money. I'm a successful man already. On his websites, it says that's how he made his money.
Yeah, his old website, before some of the controversy and stuff around him came out, his old website, which he's changed, it says right there, like, this is how I made all of my money. I convince women to fall in love with me, and then I get them to do sex work and pay me their money. He says it.
Which is a common tactic for traffickers.
He just describes the lover boy method.
Slavers.
Yeah.
What was Tucker's angle here? Because this is fringe even for him.
Yeah. What was his angle here? Yeah.
Well, his views on Twitter since he started his Twitter show have been down drastically. Maybe it was just that.
Yeah, maybe just, you know, Andrew Tate, you know, is attention grabbing, so I'll interview him.
We watched it.
You know. Yeah. Yeah. Somehow watched the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah. It was fascinating.
Yeah, it was fascinating, and like Tucker being very disingenuous, talking about, you know, well, what you're really into, Andrew, is like, you know, traditional family, you know, like what's so bad about just saying that men should protect women? Like, that's not the issue here, dude. You know.
Yeah, Andrew Tate especially is someone who there's no point of debating, because it's all circles, and, you know, gets to the point where he said this in the Tucker Carlson thing. You know, if you want to believe your mainstream statistics and things like that, he started going on about vaccines and things like that. Like, what's that based on? Nothing. But, you know, talks in a way where he talks as if like, well, you know, people, you know, are probably thinking differently now with what's come out. Like, there's been a study that's come out that's changed things or something, and there hasn't. And they all do that, is kind of refer to things that they know don't exist, because they know that people won't look.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that seems to be his whole strategy here, is like, just say things and hope that people don't look.
The My Pillow guy, what's his name? Lindell.
Yeah, Mike Lindell. Yeah.
Yeah, his presentation of voter fraud, from what I read about, I think someone suing him over that, but not Smartmatic, was one of the documents that he presented was just like graphs with no explanation as to what the axes were, and like Excel spreadsheets with just like random data put in, like almost like someone unhinged and possibly on a cocaine binge had realized like, oh fuck, I've got 30 minutes, and you know, my other, you know, bullshit fantasy plans haven't worked it out. Kind of like me with my chemistry homework.
Just write down some numbers.
Moles moles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating and gross.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter of all places.
Yeah.
They've been relegated to Twitter. So
Yeah.
if you want to watch 2 hours of it, watch it on your phone because there's no Twitter TV app. Maybe there is, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah. Still an awful player.
Yeah.
Like every time, like we'd go to like pause it, and it's like the button's over there, in a place that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anything else to say about Andrew Tate and Tucker?
Not really. Do you?
Not really. Just
Oh, what about the stuff about I smoke 5 cigars a day to keep up my testosterone?
Oh yeah, where he's talking about you can keep your testosterone up by smoking cigarettes.
Like what a weird kind of weird way to shill for tobacco. I mean, it would almost be grosser if he hadn't. I don't think he has, but I mean, it would be grosser if he hadn't been paid by tobacco to do that.
Yeah.
Like, why not just say like, I like smoking cigars? Why do you have to be like, so it keeps my testosterone up?
Yeah.
That's why the ancient Greeks were a bunch of pussies, wasn't it? They didn't have access to tobacco. That's why the Incas invaded.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Next, the SAG strike.
Go on then.
You go on then. You said you had stuff to say.
You explain it. SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah.
What's that stand for?
The Screen Actors Guild of something. America something. Yeah.
Fraternity.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Team Real Association.
They're on strike now, in solidarity with the writer's strike. So yeah, I guess I saw like stuff about how like Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con is like gonna have like no panels for any shows. Like everybody's pulled out because of the strike, and I mean a lot of what I've seen about it is just people saying like Bob Iger's salary alone would be enough to like cover the demands, and I mean, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that the last time the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild, maybe they were called something different. I think the last time this happened was 1960. So it's pretty historical, and I support them. Always support unions against big corporations. It's not like Universal and Disney are struggling, and like you said, it's not like they couldn't pay them more. It's just they're interested in paying the executive C-suite more.
Yeah.
And something I've seen banded around a lot, which seems really egregious, is a lot of studios are wanting to sign get background artists, i.e. extras, to sign contracts where the studio will be able to use their image in perpetuity, which is not unnormal. Like in Collaborator, we got the actors to agree, we can use your face to promote the movie forever, not to do anything, can't put Drew's face on some baby formula or something.
Yeah,
but what this contract is that they want background artists to sign is would allow studios to use AI recreations, recreations generated with computer programs, which could mean potentially that some background artist does something and maybe they become successful, bankable in the future, and then they the studio can use their image for a film that they're not even involved in, don't even know exists.
Yeah, it's almost like
maybe they don't even become famous and that happens. Maybe they die and that happens.
Yeah,
and that does seem a bit gross.
You can definitely see the dangers. Like, I mean, certainly if it were me and it was like, okay, you get to use my face and you can make my face with AI, like that's work you're not going to get in the future then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But is this inevitable?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I definitely understand and I support the pushback against that. That doesn't seem fair. So you get paid like $200 a day for being on a set for 10 hours and then, you know, instead of, and then never working again.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, it's not like all movies or TV are going to have access to this straight away, but maybe in 10 years. But then on the other hand, you know, if they are at the point where they can take someone's face and stick it where they want, they can make their own faces. And, you know, I guess in 50 years' time, we'll be at a point where, you know, someone can make a film that looks like a real film and looks like it had an enormous production budget on their computer at home. And I think that's great.
Yeah. That's great too, yeah.
But obviously, that's going to be tremendously disruptive. And I don't think in 50 years' time, 100 years' time, when that happens, no one will be using cameras. But I imagine it'll be, the people using cameras to make films will be like weirdos like me, like I want to make a film with a camera, or weirdos like Christopher Nolan, like I'm going to make this film on a 70mm camera. But I imagine a lot of like mainstream content and also your people in your bedroom making stuff could just do it on their computers, and that's wonderful, you know, no budget constraints.
Yeah.
It's just that's obviously going to be incredibly disruptive for many innocent people on the way there, as I think it probably always is.
Yeah, I get you.
So in my view, yeah, I support the strike. I think it's a losing battle, unfortunately, but not necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, what was I reading about a leak saying that the studios
Want to starve
plans
them.
are to starve them out, like make them lose their homes, and then they'll come back. They say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that had a lot of people up in arms.
Which could have been bullshit.
Yeah, it could have been planted by the union. Yeah.
But on the other hand, like that's a strike.
Yeah.
Like what is their strategy going to be? Like, oh no, what we'll do, our workers are striking, so what we'll do is we'll go and talk to them and we'll say, look, we'll cover your costs while you're doing this, so you can keep doing it indefinitely. Like, yeah, that's what a strike is who can outlast the other one.
Yeah.
Like, why is that shocking?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
The studios want us to lose our houses, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You guys have houses?
Yeah, I guess that's what they were saying. But once they start, you know, losing houses because they can't pay their mortgage, they'll come back and give us what we want. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, anything else to say about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I mean, how long has it been now since the writer's strike's been going on for like 2 months, hasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, if people could only do a general strike, you know, for the, I don't know, general conditions of the poor.
Yeah.
The homelessness everywhere. The poverty, the injustice.
Yeah. Yep, if only.
If only.
Yep.
What do we got next?
The Sound of Freedom.
I don't have much to say about that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. I don't really have much to say either. The only thing I really had to say was just that I thought it was hilarious that there are like conspiracy theories going around about like the air conditioner stopped working during our showing and it was unbearably hot. Hollywood wants you to not see this movie.
So they've got people who are like, damn, we missed the real delivery.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like unaware that like theaters don't have to
show it
if that was what they were doing. But yeah, I mean, basically people just describing, you know, the theater experience.
Yeah.
That, you know, that I've had. I mean, you know,
the bulbs
here
weren't
I thought
light.
that,
this is a conspiracy to make people not want to go and see this.
Yeah, woke conspiracy. Yeah, I guess that must, you know, remember when we went to see Endgame and there was a kid sleeping next to me who was snoring the entire movie, like really loudly?
Yeah.
Turns out that was a woke conspiracy against Avengers.
It was actually Thanos in disguise.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Boring.
Yeah.
He was also clapping every time Thanos came on. Booing. every time the Avengers came on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also read an article, a brief article, in interviewing actual human trafficker police officers who work in various agencies, and they said it was inaccurate and even dangerous to weave the picture that they were trying to weave, where it's kind of, I haven't seen the movie, this is just what they were saying, it's kind of like the idea of Taken, of people, of kids being snatched, and whilst that does happen, it's more often people get trafficked because they are sold by their parents who are desperate because they're drug addicts or very, very poor, or they get kicked out of their house often because they're LGBTQ, and then they have no way to survive and end up getting pimped out and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically saying that it's misrepresenting how it really happens.
Yeah, and that could potentially, they argued it could potentially be dangerous when you've got a jury expecting Taken. But actually, like most things, it's a much more banal, much more evil thing.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not having seen, I don't know.
Yeah. But the main actor has said some absolutely insane shit.
Jim Caviezel or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he seems like kind of a nutcase. Yeah.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I mean, that's what I guess people are saying, is that it's like
borderline
QAnon-y
adjacent
type stuff. Yeah.
What do we have next?
Shein.
Shein. Okay, I had never heard of Shein. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. Shein. They're actually the #1 app, shopping app.
Okay.
Amazon is #2.
Okay. Never heard of it.
They're worth $66 billion.
Okay.
They've had quite a meteoric rise. They made something like 10 billion in revenue in 2020. They made like 100 billion in 2022. It's a Chinese-based consortium where they don't actually own the factories that supply them. They just have contracts with them. They have contracts with about 300 factories. And they are being sued by 3 separate independent designers who are all like small designers, like work in, you know, independent operators who employ like a handful of people, like less than 10. They're being sued for ripping them off. And from the images, they definitely rip them off.
Okay.
One woman designed like, I don't know how you'd call it, like kind of like pop art with words, and they sold it as wall art. They took her design that she put on like, I don't know, a t-shirt or something, and they took it and sold it as wall art, and then when she contacted them, they said, do you want $500? And then the year later, they asked her if she wanted to work with them, and she told them to fuck off.
Yeah, right. Okay, so just stealing people's work.
Stealing people's work, and it's interesting that in the NPR article I read about it, it doesn't mention the word or phrase or acronym, AI, ever. But in the other articles I've read about it, it does. And they're allegedly using AI, again, a computer program, not to design patterns, but to scrape the internet for not just designs, but social media posts with designs, social media posts that get lots of views, lots of traction. Essentially, they've got a program that identifies or tries to identify trends and rip them off.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And the company has, you know, it's a Chinese-owned company. It has terrible labor practices. It basically operates sweatshops. And yeah, they've charged them under RICO, which is the Anti-Racketeering Act, because they have a myriad of companies and shell companies that are all essentially in place to obfuscate liability.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you come across this? Just reading new stuff?
I just read about it, and I think the lawsuit was filed on Thursday.
Okay.
I saw it there and then read more about it. Like I say, I've not heard about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Again, they're trying for an IPO, and what they're trying to do right now is sort of brand wash. What's it called? Greenwashing?
Greenwashing.
They're trying to essentially
We're environmentally friendly.
Launder their brand, pretend to be environmentally friendly, pretend to be, not working people to death.
Right.
Sort of thing. And of course, it's the American consumer who's propping this company up.
Yeah. I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. We're out of touch.
Yeah, I mean...
No, it's the children who are wrong.
It's the children.
Well, that's why I'm wearing this lovely floral shirt, which I bought from Primark for $3 and was definitely made by a slave.
Yeah. Where did you guys get this? This is the one of the matching shirts that he has with
We only bought one matching shirt each.
Yeah.
I got it from Primark. Pretty sure. Primark.
There's a Primark in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just curious.
It was a Primark-like store.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I didn't go into stores and go, why do I care what it's called?
Yeah, alright, someplace. You get it someplace.
Yeah, clothes store. Shirt store. It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks nice on you, I think. George says that his dream is to wear all Hawaiian shirts all the time.
No.
Weren't you just saying that?
No, I haven't bought any new clothes in like years. And when I finally do, I'm going to save up a little nest so I can do it all at once. And I'm going to buy some really embarrassing shit.
Yeah. Okay.
For you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking red Hawaiian shirts, floral, blue, kind of like the Miami Vice vibe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I support you.
Yeah, thanks.
Dress however you want, I don't care.
Yeah. Maybe like Tom Hardy in Inception.
Oh, yeah. Like a
hairdresser.
Nightclub owner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I want to look like a greasy nightclub owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to keep because I like the pocket as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to keep a black and mild there at all times. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Shein. And I thought that was interesting how quickly they have risen. And that they don't actually own any factories. It's all a contract thing.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Which I think would potentially mean they're vulnerable. Like, I'm interested in their IPO and how that happens.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, well, yeah. Keep me informed.
I will.
How that goes.
I will. Okay, what do we have next?
That was it on the list.
Well,
today.
One thing I wanted to mention was that there's a summit in South Africa in August, and Putin says he's going, but there's an international arrest warrant out for him. But South Africa have said, like, well, we can't arrest him. We'd prefer he didn't come. And he's like, no, I'm coming. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Would you arrest him?
Like what, if I were like Interpol or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If they've got an arrest warrant, then...
I mean, do you like the idea of, Interpol being there and being like, well, what do you mean have the South African government cleared our arrest? We're Interpol, we don't have to ask them.
Yeah, right.
And just doing it.
Yeah.
And prime ministers and presidents having to call each other like, what the fuck? Who told Interpol to do that? No one told them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, you got...
Anything else about...
You annoyed by me mentioning this?
No, not at all.
Mentioning Putin?
No.
Putin.
No, you're totally fine.
Yeah. It's kind of... So Putin is... I guess they're trying to, show influence, show dominance.
Yeah, right.
A bit. And I was thinking you could have a... if they arrested him, it would be a huge diplomatic incident which could potentially lead to war. But what you could do is South African government can promise that they're not going to arrest him, and then immediately after he takes over from Moscow, you do a Western-backed coup in South Africa, complete deniability, Cat Shannon style. Coup the government. It's a different government, maybe a bloodless coup. That'd be great. Whatever. Yeah, and then by the time he lands, it's technically a different government. And they have nothing to do with the West. They've not even established relationships. Never heard of him. Biden, no idea who he is. But you're under arrest. Sort of thing. Do you like that idea?
Sure.
Yeah. And then it's a table right there, right on the tarmac with like 3 judges going, sit fuck down. We're doing this right now. Someone quickly behind them like loading a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right, nothing to say about that then. Sorry, I thought you'd have loads of geopolitical comments about, well, that could lead to a revolution in Russia, which could be more dangerous than the current situation if Putin does remain in power.
No, I hadn't, don't know if I have much of an opinion, other than, fuck Putin.
Yeah, here's my prediction, my wild prediction.
Okay.
I think there's something going to happen where, I don't know if it's going to be that, but he'll get on a plane to go somewhere, and then it'll land, and no one will be able to find him. And it'll just be, like, really, really unclear what has happened. Like, even the, like, chatter in Russian intelligence circles will be like, who did that? Like, did what?
Yeah, right.
Like, maybe he's playing a game with us. Maybe he's in the toilet, not coming out. See what we do. Maybe it's a test.
Maybe it's a test.
Maybe he...
I tried to trick you.
Actually, I'm not Vladimir Putin. I'm D.B. Cooper. This is a heist. He jumps out of a plane. And there never was a Russian president for the last 20 years. They just steal.
Yeah.
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else to talk about? Yeah, I don't know. Not really. I hope I wasn't too boring this one. Very tired.
We didn't care on the last ones.
No, just sleepy. My niece spent the night with us last night, and we were up late watching horror movies.
What did you think of The Nun?
It was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was alright. I thought that the actress playing the main actress lady was pretty good.
Can you name one good movie with nuns in it? Sister Act?
I was about to say Sister Act, but I can't remember if it's good. I haven't seen it in a very long time. No, not good.
Worth a revisit, but now
Okay.
it's...
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's no Sister Act 2.
Yeah. No, I can't really think of any other good nun movies.
Nuns on the Run, where the whole joke is basically nuns are so ugly that Robbie Coltrane and Eric Idle, 2 45-year-old men, could easily masquerade as them by just wearing a habit.
Right.
I think they're criminals, and or so something. Not nasty criminals though, like bank robber criminals.
Yeah.
And they have to hide in a convent and speak like that and praise Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And it is kind of convincing. Eric Idle, when he's got the habit on, I'm like, I'd do her. In a pinch.
Sure.
Sexy 50-year-old nun. Dower nun. Did you like the film The Nun?
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah.
It was alright?
Not generally into
it was rubbish.
those kinds of things, but
But it was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
It had a Hammer-esque quality where it felt kind of fresh in that its cliches and bad writing weren't the cliches and bad writing of a lazy Hollywood room. Hollywood writer's room. It didn't come across as lazy, just shit.
Yeah. I liked it better than those other ones that are part of that series.
Sinister.
Some of them have been really awful. Like, didn't we watch Annabelle? That was terrible.
I know we watched Bad Ben.
Yeah, that's actually kind of worth a watch.
Are they still on Amazon?
I wonder, yeah, I don't know. That was very funny, yeah. Grandpa makes movies over the weekend at his house.
We found a number of films, there were like 8 of them,
yeah.
called Bad Ben on Amazon, which I don't know how we found it. I've never seen it advertised since.
Yeah.
And they must have been made for like $1,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Grandpa, like, moving a doll around his house.
Shooting
and acting
everything
scared.
with Ring cameras.
Yeah.
And it is truly, I mean, it's kind of unbelievably amateur.
Yeah. All the brand stuff, too. There's, like, a Pringles can, like, right in shot. Like,
yeah, but he's not advertising Pringles or anything.
No,
he
it's
just
just
didn't think of it.
that's what he had around. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, they're so funny.
Yeah.
They're like little dolls terrorizing him, but obviously he's made them himself, so they never move or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's a shot of me going to the fridge, and then the dolls moved.
Yeah.
And do you remember when they, like, he first confronts the dolls, and they kill someone or something, like.
Yeah.
And he's screaming at these like little porcelain dolls, like, you sick bitches!
Yeah. You bitch.
Like, he's trying not to laugh in his own movie. Yeah.
Very funny. Yeah.
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 Oh, maybe I'll have to look them up and make Damien watch all of them.
That'd be a good one, yeah. It'd be good to talk about that.
Mad Ben 1 to 7.
Yeah. And like each one was just like the same thing. Now the doll is in the driveway.
No. Mad Ben 4 introduces multiverses.
Yeah, I completely forgot about those. We'll have to revisit that.
We will.
Yeah, I hope they're still there.
All right then. So
Yeah.
that's our homework. Bad Ben.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, probably watch some more Bar Rescue.
Probably we will.
Probably will. Yeah.
All right then. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Sorry for being boring.